Ladies and gentlemen, as some of you may already know, the Small Business Administration deposited my economic injury disaster loan grant into my bank account. Then the SBA approved me for a $38,700 loan. I've vlogged about this in a previous video, and you can see where I'm flipping out because although they approved me for $38,700, they deposited $38,600 to my bank account. So I was wondering, where did those $100 vanish to? It's a UCC filing fee to which you agree when you sign the closing documents. Genius. A C note is a C note. If you see a C note on the floor, you're not gonna pick it up. If I see that Benji, I'm pocketing it. If I don't see that someone just dropped it previously. $100, $100. I could take a client out to eat it chopped for lunch twice, or buy 2 bottles of bourbon, one for one client, one for a prospect. Get a client to sign on a dotted line for another campaign on which we can work, and get the prospect to go ahead and be a new customer. Anyway, let me just go ahead and break down what it is I do, what got me to the point where I had to apply for an economic injury disaster loan. I'm an online marketer, online web developer. We manage several online marketing projects and web development projects for several organizations. I've worked for the 2012 Barack Obama presidential campaign. I actually worked for the Donald Trump organization on the Think Big Expo in which he participated over a decade ago. I helped raise $200,000 for a Harlem charity, for a couple of Harlem charities actually, by promoting the Manhattan Golf Classic. It was the first professional amateur golf classic in Manhattan history. Donald Trump participated. I believe his name is Hank Haney. Tiger Woods' coach participated. Tom Watson, if I'm saying his name correctly, a professional golfer. He got crazy drunk on a yacht, and we were all on a yacht, and we were basically going around. We were floating around New York City, eating salmon. My wife was pregnant with the kid. I met Trump on the boat, and I was doing fact checking for Barack Obama several years later. I've also worked with the AOL company. I've worked with the Nielsen company. I've worked with Billboard, several mainstream publications, Adweek, you name it. I represent several public-facing companies for which I do lead generation. I manage their advertising for these clients, for these companies that are mainly brick and mortar. And I also help them update their websites so the websites stand the best chance to appear for targeted queries of keywords on Google and other search engines. A number of these organizations had to suspend their marketing budgets once the pandemic hit, especially here in New York City. I'm actually in Queens, so this is the epicenter of the epicenter. This is where Elmhurst Hospital is located. Elmhurst Hospital was nationally televised. They were loading bodies into tractor trailers, so it was real bad. The neighbor caught the virus. One of the people that manages a number of these houses in this area, manages the maintenance, he also caught the virus. He's a good friend of mine. My cousin actually caught the virus over a month ago. Now he has residual asthma symptoms. I got sick. No one diagnosed me with the virus because you can't get any testing. My cousin actually got the testing because he's a first responder. He works for the Department of Sanitation here in New York City. I felt completely drained. I felt like I did have a little trouble breathing for some short amount of time. I suffered some flu symptoms. I had some chills, but I was shaking it off. Fortunately, I eat pretty healthy most of the time, mainly meats, fruits, and vegetables. So I was able to shake it off a bit quicker than a number of other people. It took me out for about 2 weeks though. I couldn't work out. As you can see, I had a pull-up bar back here. I work out 3 times a week with this, and then I do some other exercises, a number of push-ups, and I do calf raises and such. That's for another video. Anyway, so I couldn't do that for 2 weeks. My work capacity was severely limited. There are a few things that are automated on which I have independent contractors to work, and when I would feel better, I would start to work on more pro bono projects. So I have clients that I'm still doing work for, but mainly most of them on a pro bono basis. So I'm doing like audits and stuff like that, and I'm helping them out with some organic work that can help them appear on the search engines for targeted keywords, trying to check out some mistakes and such. I'm not billing them at this particular point because I know it's tough right now. I even partnered with one of my friends owns a advertising management organization, and we had an open enrollment on his entire library of training, basically training that allows entrepreneurs to learn how they can better market their business on Facebook, how to build their brands and do more online so they can be more self-sustaining. And this will help anybody be self-sustaining, and regardless of what kind of market, regardless of whatever economy in which you're involved. Anyway, I did take an economic hit. I mean, also my wife got sick as well. But anyway, I took an economic hit and I applied for the economic injury disaster loan on March 21st, 2020. I applied online. It was the first application that the SBA released. I entered in my personal information, my business information. I uploaded a series of documents. I had to upload my business tax return, my personal tax return. I had to fill out IRS form 4506T where I granted authorization to the SBA to yank my tax transcript. Upon doing that, I received an email that they received my application, basically a confirmation of submission. On March 24th, they actually sent me another email which reads status change received in review. And then the SBA pulled my credit. I'm not sure if it was prior to that or after that. The SBA released another application where you had to download some forms and you had to fill in the same information, basically fill in your personal information, your business information. You had to also you had to package that with a number of documents, same type of documents. Everything was the same. I had already done everything that this form required on the first application that was mainly online. That was completely online actually. This one, again, you had to download a PDF document, you filled it out, and then you packaged it with all the documentation that proved all the information that you entered into the application, and then you re-uploaded it to the SBA. I did not fill that one out. So I left that, I ignored that, but then I heard sometime later, about a week later, that there was a new application out, an expedited application that had a box on the lower left that you can check and you can request to $10,000 in grant money that you don't have to pay back. So I called the SBA and I asked them, listen, should I be filling this application out? I already filed an application back in March. Should I fill this one out as well? The lady on the phone, she told me, yes, you do fill it out. And once you fill it out, go ahead and call back and tell me or tell a colleague, whoever you get in touch with, what is the confirmation number that form generates once you submit it. So while I was on the phone, while she's explaining this to me, I'm actually filling out the application and I got the confirmation number and I read it to the representative. The representative documented it in my phone record that's associated with my account. And then I believe they pulled my credit again. I have it notated right here. April 10th, yeah, SBA pulled my credit again. I believe that was after this. So they actually pulled it twice because they actually pulled it after I submitted the application on March 21st and they pulled it again on April 10th, 2020. Which, by the way, an SBA employee told me that you have to have at least a 570 credit score in order to qualify for the economic injury disaster loan. If you read the CARES Act, it does stipulate that the SBA can use your credit report to determine whether you are able to pay the loan back. And SBA press employee told me that indeed the SBA pulls your credit in order to determine repayment ability. And that makes sense. I mean, lenders pull credit all the time to determine whether they want to give you credit, whether you're paying your bills on time, whether you're using too much of your available credit, whether you're a dirtbag that just does not satisfy your financial obligations. Thank God decades ago I stopped that practice. I stay current. Anyway, on April 14th, the SBA deposited $1,000 into my bank account. That was my grant. And then on April 19th, the SBA sent me an email notifying me that they approved me for a $38,700 loan. Now, I had mentioned in my previous video that I didn't say that once they approved it. I'm going to fill you in on that information right now. This is probably the first time that you're learning about this. But there is a website that you could log into. It's called the Capital Access Financial System. It's an SBA website. And you can see the status of your loan if it's already been approved. The subdomain is CAWEB, C-A-W-E-B. I'll leave a link to it down in the comments section below, at least a link to the registration form so you can go ahead and register. The way that you register is real tricky nonetheless. They have a certain set of rules for you to choose a desired password and choose a desired username. You have to click on the links that actually explain what are those requirements, and you go ahead, enter in your desired username, enter in your desired password. You get through that. then you choose that you are a borrower. Once you choose that you are a borrower, it's going to ask you for something called a financial commitment ID. That financial commitment ID could be either your confirmation number for your economic injury disaster loan or your confirmation number for your Paycheck Protection Program loan. Either one will work. You enter those in, you enter in the rest of the information. They ask you to provide some desired security questions. You go ahead and select the ones that you want. You enter the answers to those security questions, and then you submit. I guess they also have a CAPTCHA. They also require some other, the phone number. A number of people had trouble entering the phone number. One of the fields is labeled as the country code. That is a 1. You're here in the United States, it's a 1. The other box is for the area code, only for the area. I actually messed up on this as well. The other box is for the area code. And the last box is where you enter your full phone number. But you have to enter it in a 3-digit dash and then a 4-digit format, okay? So basically 7-digit format with a dash between the first 3 digits and the last 4 digits. Digit, 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 digit. Anyway, that's pretty much the most trickiest part based on the comments that you've been leaving. Also, the experience that I went through in order to check CalWeb. It'll give you the status of the loan. And if it reads current disbursed, that means they sent the loan out. So if they haven't sent the loan out, if you haven't received it in your bank account as yet, you may want to call the SBA and find out what's up, because once it reads current disbursed, it means that they've actually sent out the loan. They've already deposited it into your account. Somebody told me that they were still waiting on the loan because a piece of their private information was not correct in their CalWeb profile. So the zip code was wrong. So you can go ahead on the left side of the screen, you can go ahead and click your name and you can access your profile. And it lists all the information about you, all your personal information, your address, the last 4 digits of your social security number, your date of birth. You have to ensure that all that information is correct so they're able to process the loan as fast as possible. Somebody asked me what type of collateral I had to put up in order to get a loan that was more than $25,000. You actually attest to putting up collateral when you sign the closing documents. What else do people ask me? And I guess the most important thing is that when you register for the CalWeb website, your financial ID again is your confirmation number for any SBA loans. That's your EIDL loan or your PPP loan. You go ahead and use that as your financial ID commitment number. If you have any questions about the economic injury disaster loan or the process that I went through in order to secure it, feel free to leave your questions and comments in the comment section below. Click the like button if you liked the video. Click the subscribe button to stay up to date with any news that I find out about the economic injury disaster loan or the stimulus or any new packages that lawmakers and public officials have in store. Talk soon.